Hello, you wonderful people, and welcome to another episode of Crime Centric. This being a show where I talk about crime dramas that I watch. For today's episode, I'm going to talk about the season premiere of Blindspot. Fantastic season premiere. I love it, the kind of wedding, I love that they kind of immediately, this premiere just hit the ground running. Immediately getting through, what you missed between that time skip in the season finale, immediately jumping to them immediately getting married, no, just kind of in between there. It's something I brought up before that I'm curious how they're going to structure this season on how, like I said, everything's kind of going through a time skip now. So, but nevertheless, it's a situation of I'm curious to see how they handle this going forward, whether we're going to cut back to past events. Because obviously this premiere brought up a lot of stuff of oh yeah, this is where things are now. Let's see how they got to this, or are we just going to learn as the series progresses and they're never really getting to see it? Because the show's the show's had certain aspects of flashbacks, but it's mainly been Jane remembering stuff from back when she, before she lost her memories and everything. So that's to the extent that's going. So I doubt they really would go full blown. I mean, not unless it's a whole dedicated episode to be what you missed in the past 18 months. And even then, that's after Jane and Kurt got married. Side note, I love the fact of the matter is it kind of didn't have that cold open that normally Blindspot does before it goes to the title screen, the title card and everything. It's didn't even have that. It just kind of looked almost like a different show with its title card. Blindspot. And here's the creator's name. And it's here's a wedding montage. Or everyone's together. Yay. Wedding. Yeah. Happiness. Yay. And then it immediately turns sour when we end up finding out there's actually a bounty on Jane's head for 10 million because some remaining member of Sandstorm was pissed about it and put out a hit on her, but then killed himself. But now it's in a situation where it's the bounty can't be put off, so that's why she ran away. Because season 2's finale was painting it did Jane do something so bad that she had to run away from it? Did things go from good to bad? What we know is no, she ran away to get away from Kurt because it's Kurt was no, we're gonna run together, but she couldn't bring it because she knew he would do that because he loves her, but because she loves him so much, it's I'm not gonna have you give up your entire life and be on a run from me. You got a baby, you got a baby girl, that you got to be there for too. So, but immediately picking up right where, after that little intro, it also immediately cuts to where season 2's finale ended with them meeting up again. And I love that whole situation because immediately my brain was oh my God, had those tattoos been there the entire time? I was how did they not come across? Oh, no. Because I'm sure, because I'm an idiot because I didn't think about it at the time. It's of course they would have read every single test possible to see if there were any more layers to the tattoos. It turns out, it seems and I'm curious, did they have this already planned out by the time season 2's finale happened? Or is that just something that came up with season 3's, premieres to explain that? Because I don't think they went into details about that. Because immediately this time she's no. It's no, she didn't have these tattoos already. These tattoos were actually added later. She was there was an attack at one point in time and she got knocked. She was in and out of consciousness. So at that point in time, she got tattooed up. And it's so interesting because apparently these tattoos, I mean, not only with their design and the fact of the matter is it takes I forgot what the exact wording, what's that called? I mean, the fact is that it's lit up like that. I forgot what the term is. I'm being super right now, so I apologize. But it's a lot more intricate in detail. There's a lot more clues and puzzles to be figured out because not only is it all over her body also, but some of them actually connect to her previous tattoos. They all form into big puzzle pieces, and it's expanding upon the mystery even more. And it turns out it is, lo and behold, the person you would think it is. Roman is behind all this. For what purpose? I don't know. It's kind of interesting because obviously for one, obviously he completely refers to her as Jane. I mean, to be fair, after losing his memories, he always knew her as Jane. He didn't know her as Remy before, as the Roman that we first met in season 2 with all his memories intact and everything. Yeah, he probably would have been that probably would have set things more apart, it being him calling her Jane Doe. It's well, the fact is he added the Doe at the end. He kind of means I guess it's him kind of distancing his association. No, you're not my sister. You betrayed me. You basically turned my entire life upside down. You're the reason why, because he blames her for everything that happened, the fact of him losing his memories, and that put him in a situation of just being so lost, turned against everything that he knew because of her, because she lied to him. So it's sad because it seems this season is setting it up he is potentially, not necessarily, but potentially the main antagonist because he's the one that set all this in motion. I did appreciate that whole situation at the beginning where it's like, okay, there's this drug that makes her appear dead because they need to get the bounty off her head, and it's like, lo and behold, like, oh, like they want to incinerate the body instead of just like grabbing it and taking it somewhere. So I like the look of what it looked like when she was emerging from the bag, and she comes out looking all badass, and then it cuts to the outside of like the church or whatever, and you hear some like a little explosions and stuff like that. But then you see Jane and Kurt walk out, and they look at each other and smile, and it's like, yeah, kicking ass together, just like it's like they're almost having fun because they probably have this is their first time working together again in such a long time. So it was nice seeing that look, like that smile and that look to each other meant and held so much to it, you know. So, but this season premiere wasn't even just about Jane and Kurt. It was obviously they're the big focus, but another part of it is, and I don't remember if they must have said this in season two's finale. I don't remember I said anything about it, but it was about Reed, Patterson, and Tasha all got kidnapped, which is kind of an awkward situation in itself because we also learned their particular situations. Like, the fact of the matter is that Tasha now works for the CIA. In fact, she actually works underneath Keenan, so that's interesting. Reed apparently runs the FBI, like basically has Weller's job. And then Patterson kind of just does her own thing. Like, she kind of works on the Silicon Valley type of job. She kind of later on kind of makes it seem like, oh yeah, she works with games and stuff like that. You also have the return of Rich. I love the fact that he's in this premiere. It also seems like he's definitely going to be around a lot more this season, which I shouldn't be too surprised about, because it seems like every season they bring him up more and more, because I think he must be a big hit with the like audience of Blindspot, because they make every excuse to bring him on. I think it's just the actor who plays him, Ennis, is just so fabulous in everything he does, because when he plays a bad guy, he plays such a goofy, charming bad guy, you know? I've referenced it before, but like when it comes to him, I always immediately think of Oz from The Listener. That's my go-to for him, you know, obviously. So obviously him as like Wexler on Dark Matter as well. So it's all so good. And I love, he's like, oh yeah, this whole situation you're running into, it might be a trap. He's like, you might want to send me those nudes before you die. And it's like, oh yeah, this drug you're trying to take, oh, I've been there too. I've used it to sneak across borders, done it for some, use it for some sexual stuff. I mean, I probably shouldn't be telling you all that. So, but getting back to it, like, Kurt and Jane being gone, Kurt and Jane's situation didn't just affect them, it affected the entire team because a lot of stuff changed. Patterson even said it herself, it's like, we all like felt that hole, and our dynamic changed, because Reed stopped talking to Tasha because Tasha got that job. Like, she took the job working with the CIA, and I guess for him, it's probably like she did it without really talking to him about it. But then Reed didn't really want to talk to her afterwards, because it's like, you didn't, you made such a big choice without me. Which Patterson was like, no, guys, stop acting like this is about something else, because he basically twisted it, and it's like, well, the fact of the matter is, you with the CIA, you guys are always up to something shady. Maybe this is one of your enemies that capture us. It turns out Roman actually kidnapped them and sold them to someone else, because it turns out it's all about like them being held captured was to open a safe which had a CIA computer in it, and they were supposed to hack in it to get information. They only really needed Patterson, but they needed Reed and Tasha as collateral to be like, oh, if you don't do this, we're going to kill these two people, and that's going to be on you. So it was pretty impressive, them escaping on their own. I thought that was kind of interesting, using the thing that's in the bag of foods that they had, like basically creating their own homemade flashbangs. There was a moment that it kind of took a little bit to go off that I was kind of like, oh, it actually didn't work. Oh, never mind. And they proceeded to escape. And then you have Jane and Kirk showing up in a tank. That's her first for Blindspot in general, kind of coming in with heavy artillery like that. But obviously the biggest thing when it comes to this whole situation that they're hammering home immediately is, the fact of the matter is, this team is not the same team. Each one of them is not the same person. And that's something that Hearst is trying to get across to Reed. It's like, yeah, this is your team. They know you better than anybody, but these aren't the same people that you knew. Each one has kind of gone off and led their own life. You see Jane having money kind of stockpiled away along with passports, almost seeming like, given the opportunity, it's almost like she's ready to run if she needs to, because it's like she's trying to make everything work with Kurt, but it's like she realized outside of Kurt, she didn't really have much of a life. Like, her whole life was helping the FBI be around Kirk, and it's like, that's fine and dandy. She loves him and everything, but that's just one facet of her life. You can't let, some one person be your everything, you know? So what she has found purpose outside of that, she said. Now, whether this is just like, I can run at any time. Maybe that's not just for her. Maybe this is kind of, well, because the whole reason why she left in the first place is because she didn't want to get Weller to just end up running away from his entire life. That's not fair, you know, to Allie and their baby. And, you know, he has, that's a family too that, you know, she doesn't want to deprive, Kurt's daughter of having that life. And now it's like, you know, because part of me was just thinking like, what if it was meant for them to run away together? But it's like, no, if she was okay with them running away together, she would have made sure they ran away together before. So that kind of debunks that. So it has to be a situation of whatever she's gotten herself into recently, like over those past 18 months, isn't just as clear cut. I mean, because like everything she did, it seems like it was connected to like the whole like bounty on her head. But the fact of the matter is her trying to find that person over these past 18 months made her probably a lot of enemies. You know, she probably did a lot of stuff that she's probably not proud of and stuff that will most likely come back to haunt her this season. Reed has to deal with the fact of the matter is it's not like Kurt's in the leader chair anymore. He has to be the one to kind of dictate things because now it's a CIA operation joint task force thing with the FBI, which then obviously like his girl, like, well, his ex, you know, Tasha is working with the CIA now. So that's still a little awkward, even to the point Kenan's like, oh, are you sure you're not doing this just to get your girlfriend back in the same place as you? And then you have Tasha pointing out something like there's one of the particular tattoos that Jade has, one of her new ones, that is like, what? And then Kenan's like, well, what does that mean? Like, is that something we should be worried about? And she's like, no, as long as they don't know. So it does play into what Reed had kind of alluded to before of like, yo, you're the CIA. The CIA does some shady stuff, which is like, it's not really fair for Tasha to kind of doubt Reed on that. I mean, because let's not forget how this all started back in even in season 1, the head of the CIA, like the whole Jane situation, capturing her and torturing her situation. So it's like, it's not like the CIA hasn't kind of crossed the line in the past anyway. So it's like, you know, but now it seems like they've definitely done something and Tasha's trying to hide it, whether or not like it's something she personally isn't proud of. But the fact is that is on Jane's body makes it seem like, you know, I mean, obviously, usually these type of things are some pretty like national level stuff. I mean, we know what it was all meant for back in the day with Shepard, with her original plan and everything. Well, everyone's, you know, Sandstorm's plan in general, but it's like now it's like, well, what does Roman have to do with this? Like to him, it's all about, he's like, oh, help me solve the tattoos, which makes me think he put the tattoos on Jane, but he doesn't know the end result. I think there's someone above Roman calling the shots. Yeah, he's got his own little game going on, but someone else is calling the shots. Not unless he's pretending he's taking advantage of it. Someone else put those tattoos on her, but Roman himself is taking advantage and being like, oh, I'm the one who did it. Because it's like, oh, help me solve the tattoos. It's like, would you really need the tattoos to be solved? I mean, you know, not less. I don't know. Like I said, either he put that design on her or someone else ordered him to do it. Either way, I'm curious to see what it is that Tasha does have hidden. And whatever it is obviously took place over those 18 months. And it's like, it's kind of crazy that almost how much can change in about 2 years, you know? There's also like Patterson, because apparently her and Rich, like they've been playing that whole little act of like, wait, Stewart is running my lab. Wait, what do you mean Rich? Because Rich is now kind of her replacement. And I love that whole conversation of Rich and going back and forth with the team. And it's like, oh, look at us, guys, 6 best friends and a Stewart together again. And it was like, did anyone else notice that every time Stewart was like partway into a sentence, everyone would cut him off? It's like, poor Stewart constantly getting shit on. But I love the Rich and Patterson dynamic of just like, oh, well, you're leaning on that? Yeah, don't lean on that. We don't do that anymore. And it's just kind of like Patterson was originally going to come and go, but it's like, no, I have to stay because the fact of the matter is Rich is running things. I wonder, did she not know that Rich was working at the FBI now? Because it's basically like oh, you help us out, we'll lower your sentence. If you're ever familiar, if you've never ever seen the show White Collar or you're familiar with it, probably a kind of similar thing to the whole like situation, like the premise of that show is kind of similar of like work with the FBI, get reduced time on all your crimes essentially. So I mean, because the last time we saw Rich last season was he was kind of like in a hospital bed, kind of recovering from helping out the FBI last time. So I guess, you know, he wasn't able to get away that time. So like they probably made it so like, hey, you help us, we'll help you. So the question is though, is it something like was Rich taking that deal with the FBI part of whatever he's got with Patterson? Like I said, did Patterson know he was even working at the FBI? Did like the moment she found out he was here, it actually changed everything? So that's why she feels like she has to come back. Because the way it seems like Patterson was up to some super illegal stuff. I mean, we don't even know if Patterson's like 100% okay after the whole Barton situation. Like, it seemed like she bounced back from it, but there still might be some stuff that has come about from that. I am curious to find out what it is that she's been up to. Maybe we'll ultimately find out it was nothing bad, but the fact of the matter is she wants to keep it on a hush-hush, makes you think so. And there's also the fact is even Kurt himself has stuff that he's hiding, because apparently there's something that went down in Berlin that he doesn't want Jane to know about, which Roman's threatening to use that against him. What was so bad that you would work with Roman just so he wouldn't say anything to Jane about whatever went down in Berlin? I don't remember if I brought this up too. I am curious to know how much of Roman's memories return, because I still don't even know if at this point in time all of Jane's memories have come back. Because I think the whole point was there is a possibility that some, maybe all, maybe none of it will ever come back. But I mean, I wonder how much does Roman remember? Does he remember everything? Like I said, what is his end result in all this? Because it does seem like he is trying to make Jane pay because of all she did. Like I said, like her lies and everything, turning his life upside down the way she did. I mean, I'm sure that's all an excuse to something else. He just needs her to think it's that, when in actuality it's just kind of like sleight of hands. Look over here while everything else is happening over here. Because he ends up referring to her new tattoos as her jail cell. I guess kind of a reference to him spending so much time behind glass, trying to be the quote-unquote good boy, I guess, you know? I mean, I guess, and also in his mind, too, it's because of Jane that their entire family fell apart, too. They were dysfunctional, sure, but they were happy with what they were doing. Like, we had this goal that we were going to work towards together, and you destroyed it all. So, like I said, fantastic season premiere. They've already set the standard for the rest of the season and just already set up some very amazing things, and I'm love to kind of figure out and pick up on as we progress. Like I said, I'm so interested to find out like how they like go about revealing what happened in these 18 months and what secrets are lying not just in the past but going forward. I mean, technically to go forward, I guess you would have to go back to understand why everything led to where we are now, how Roman got in the position that he's in to be able to do what he's doing now, the tattoos and everything of setting everything up like that, you know. I mean, to be fair, once again, it's been like 2 years, so that's a lot of time to plan. So, because I forgot like how much time, like, because season 2's finale was based on like right where before the time skip happened. There was like a specific time frame. I don't think it was exactly 18 months, because 18 months is after like the bounty was put on her head and she found out about it and she left Kurt. That was like at 18 months, but I feel like it was closer to 2 years. Like, in general, like, subsequently since season 2's finale. But like I said, it's been a while, so I don't remember, so. Either way, I'm very interested to see what goes down in the next episode. Will there be any way of ever going back? Or is it too late for that? That no matter what, they have to kind of live with who and what they've done and who they are now. And see if they can build up from there. Like, you know, like I said, we'll just have to wait and see. But really, that's all I want to talk about in this episode. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.